Hello everyone, this is John Jenkins, and I wanted to bring you another video. So, I was going to show you this online, but why do I want to show you this online when I got the book right here? Anyway, so the next day I got halfway through the book. I just passed halfway in this book. If you can see the name, Melinda French Gates. This is the memoir of Melinda French Gates, and this basically the whole idea is it's supposed to talk about how she felt the day after she divorced, uh, Bill Gates. I guess that's the purpose of the book. That's the way the book is marketed. It's supposed to be this tell-all book where she's talking about the betrayal, the ultimate betrayal, and stuff like that. So, and I was able to confirm by reading the book that the reason that Melinda French Gates divorced Bill Gates was because of the Epstein files. I was able to confirm from reading the book that the reason that she divorced Bill Gates was because of the Epstein files. Now, she didn't say that explicitly. But she sort of alluded to it. So anyway, I'm not going to get into too much detail about the Epstein files. So the point of this video is that the point of this video is that a lot of people are going to read this book and they're going to be like, he should have been faithful or whatever, and what I wanted to say was that, like for example, I personally have never had sex. I've never been in a relationship, and if everything goes according to plan, I never will have sex. The reason why I'm telling you this, I know this seems like TMI. I know it seems like too much information, but especially nowadays with the Me Too movement going on, there's probably thousands of black men sitting in prison right now just because they lied about their sexual history, just for lying about their sexual history. A lot of black men want to pretend like they're having sex like 10 times a week, never the same woman twice, and they end up going to prison because nowadays they don't need evidence. They don't need DNA evidence. They don't need video evidence. They don't need fingerprints. They don't even need an accuser now. So if you're a black man, you can go to prison just based off of an anonymous accusation that could have come from anybody. So basically, the reason why I keep saying that I've never had sex is because I have to be honest. If I had had sex in the past, I would be honest about that. But in the interest of remaining free, and the interest of just being honest, I just have to be honest and say that I've never had sex. So the thing is that a lot of guys who do not get a lot of attention, a lot of guys who do not get a lot of attention from women, they tend to have this thing where they judge other men who are unfaithful to their wives, or they judge other men who may be caught up in, for example, in a Me Too conviction. They judge a lot of men who get caught up in Me Too convictions, and and the men who can't get women are the first ones to always talk about how other men should lose their jobs, other men should become homeless because a woman doesn't like them anymore, and it's a trap that unsuccessful men and it's a trap that unsuccessful men uh, often fall into. The reason why I've never had sex is because really, I mean, uh, the reason why I've never had sex is really because I'm not considered conventionally. I'm not considered conventionally attractive, and I'm not naturally popular. And the thing that people it's like, you know, the point that I'm trying to get at is that a lot of men who do not get attention from women are screaming for Bill Gates' head, and they're screaming for Jeff Bezos' head and Elon Musk's head, and it pretty much any man who's successful. And the thing of the matter is that, I just have to be honest with myself. Like I said, I've never had sex, and chances are I never will have sex. Even though I do have uh, a conviction for beating up a woman. So I have to be honest about that too, because that's on my permanent record, and I can't get that expunged, or sealed. So I do have a conviction for beating up a woman, but that was self-defense. I was not in a relationship with that woman. But like I said, men, the reason why I never had sex was because I'm not conventionally attractive and I'm naturally unpopular. Now, the thing that happens with a lot of white men that I see, and I went to one of the wealthiest grade schools in Chicago, and you know I got to associate with a lot of wealthy young white boys, and basically, I mean, what I'm trying to get at is that if you're a wealthy young white boy with a bright future ahead of you, you have the possibility to become the next president. You have the possibility to become the next Jeff Bezos. You have the possibility to become the next, FDR, or I guess you could say, or the next, even the next Dana White. And, he's really successful. So people around the world literally pimp their children to these young white men, these wealthy young white men. People around the world literally pimp. I mean, I'm not saying this in a figurative sense, or as an entertainment sense of pimp my ride or something like that. I'm talking literal pimping, as in Cops the TV show, that kind of pimping. So people around the world are literally pimping their children to these wealthy young white boys, and in a lot of cases, it can be so bad that, in a lot of cases it can be so bad that a parent will literally tell their daughter, unless you take this white man to bed with you, you're not eating dinner tonight. Yeah. unless you take this white man to bed with you, you're gonna have to sleep on the street tonight. So what I'm saying is that, it's easy for somebody who's just not going to get attention from women to judge a man who is wealthy and successful, when in reality, reality reality says that I'm just not considered attractive. That's the reason why it like if you're Bill Gates, I mean, since Bill Gates was 18, he had people just throwing money at him. He had people just throwing money at him, and he had just women from every country in the world just throwing their bodies at him, and and uh, now like I said before, if I'm a virgin right now, I've never had sex before, and like I said, I probably never will. But if I were to become suddenly rich and all of a sudden, uh, uh, 4 billion women who wouldn't give me the time of day my entire life, all of a sudden they're like, all of a sudden the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, all of a sudden the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life are telling me, no, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. You don't have to come to me. I'll fly. I'll pay for a plane ticket to fly to your house, and I'll take you to dinner. You know, and uh, so I can judge Bill Gates, and I can say, well, you know, I've never had a disagreement with a woman, even though I have had disagreements with women. As a matter of fact, like I said, I have a conviction for defending myself against a woman. So I can judge other people and say that I would never cheat on a woman, but women aren't looking for, you know, uh, 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 women aren't looking for a black man who's not motivated by money, who wears his natural hair, stuff like that. Women want somebody. Women want somebody who has resources, and it's easy for me to judge. It's easy for me to judge, but like I said, I mean these parents, and I said the same thing about Michael Jackson. I said the same thing about Michael Jackson is that these parents were literally pimping their sons to Michael Jackson. They were literally teaching their sons how to pleasure an older man in order to get their sons into that room with Michael Jackson. And and obviously the same thing with R. Kelly and P Diddy. Obviously the same thing with those men. So like it's easy for men who most likely will never be able to attract any woman, such as myself. It's easy for men who will most likely never be able to attract any woman to come along and judge successful men because they haven't been perfect choir boys their entire lives, when our entire system is designed to hook. Our entire system is designed to hook successful men and to try to, try to force them into bad situations. Is that all I wanted to say? I think that's all I wanted to say. Is that like I said, I really don't judge Bill Gates that harshly. Like I said, I've never had sex before. I've never seen a live woman naked before, and most likely I never will. If everything goes according to plan. I just have to be honest because like I said, there's thousands of black men sitting in prison right now just for lying about their sexual history, just for pretending that that they had all the women in a certain area. So so I could easily judge Bill Gates and all these men and even the Harvey Weinsteins and stuff like that, but it's like, I mean, it's like, and the thing about it that really hurts these judgmental men is that women are still flocking towards these men. Women are still, the second they turn 18, second they turn 17.5, they get that fake ID and they fly straight to California, or they fly straight to New York, and the first place they go is straight to that rich man's condo, while his wife is on vacation. The first place they go is that rich man's condo, and so that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say is that I don't judge them as much as obviously, like I said, I don't live that risky lifestyle, but like I said, I mean, I'm not the standard is what I'm saying. I'm not the standard. I mean, I'm not the standard. I'm not going to. I'm not likely to end. I'm not likely to end up in any sex scandals, but I'm not likely to end up anywhere else either. Certainly not. I'm certainly not likely to end up married. So that's all I want to say is that I don't really judge these men, because it's like, women, well, I'll leave that part out. So like I said, I don't judge these men, and if you're a man who's just naturally not attractive, you don't have the it looks kind of salty if you're constantly talking about how everyone but you is a rapist, but you're not even, you've never even seen a live woman naked. Yeah, so like I said, that's all I want to say for this video. And have a great day, and goodbye.